the hell?
That's what I've been trying to tell you. There's some guys out there blocking the entrance.
Why you didn't tell them to move?
Oh, hell, there ain't no problem. Shit, I can handle this. Who drank my last beer? It's a damn shame a man can't even come home to a cold beer. You know me and your mama was talking about your ass last night. Well, we know you're good at that.
Go to hell, Harry.
See you again in another 23 years. Desmond. How about you? You ever done the pee-pee dance before? I know you ever get to the door and that key won't fit in that lock and you... Your mama's so ugly she can just stop bird droppings right in the middle of the air. That's what I enjoy doing more than anything else in life. Making someone happy, making someone smile, making someone laugh. What a thrill.
What if I told you that there was a comedic legend who was caught in between a real-life Vegas scandal? This is the story Hollywood rarely talks about. The night the punchline nearly cost George Wallace everything. The date was December 8th, 2007, and George was booked for a private corporate gig at the Bellagio, one of the most luxurious and powerful casinos on the Strip. During his performance, he was working with some props on stage, including a pearl-filled oyster. As he moved across the stage, his foot got tangled in some loose wiring for the stage monitors that had been, according to his lawyers, negligently left there by the crew. He fell hard. The result was a ruptured Achilles tendon, one of the most painful and debilitating injuries a person can suffer.
A looped wire opened and my foot got caught in the looped wire and I tore my Achilles tendon.
For a performer who relied on his physical presence and energy on stage, this was a potential career ender. The fallout was immediate. Surgeries, grueling physical therapy, and a long, painful recovery. But this is where the quiet, easygoing comedian turned into a fighter. He believed the Bellagio was responsible for his injury due to their negligence. The casino, a corporate behemoth, essentially told him to kick rocks. So George Wallace did something few entertainers were dared to do. He sued them. The court case was a Vegas spectacle. It was David versus Goliath, the beloved comedian versus the multi-billion-dollar corporation. The Bellagio's lawyers tried to argue that George was clumsy, but George's team presented evidence of the faulty wiring. The tension in the courtroom was thick. Was this the end of his career? Would a jury dare to rule against the mighty Bellagio? In 2014, the verdict came in. The jury sided with George Wallace, awarding him $1.3 million for his pain, suffering, and lost income. He had taken on the house, and he had won. It was a massive personal and financial victory, but the injury would permanently alter the course of his career.
Doctors and lawyers and all kind of crazy-ass people in a lawsuit. Crazy. Yeah, you know what $1.3 million will do for you? You can go over to Bellagio for a month and have dinner, and you broke.
George Wallace was born on 21 July 1952 in Atlanta, Georgia, to Mary Lou Wallace and George Sr. Wallace.
My family was funny, and we lived in Atlanta, Georgia, so there's never been, you mentioned segregation. We knew it was, but do you know, in some cases we were better off.
But sadly, when he was 16, his mother died, making him move to Ohio, where he found a job with Firestone Tire. As part of the company's tuition reimbursement program, Wallace enrolled in the University of Akron in Ohio, studying transportation and marketing.
When I left here, I went to college up in Ohio. I got to University of Akron.
Hold on, let me get that.
At this point, he was on the sensible path, the kind of path your parents brag about at cookouts. But there was a problem. The sensible path was boring. Deep down, he knew he was born to be on a stage, not in a boardroom.
My mama will be at the LA Zoo. And Smiley, I love you, and I invite you to come to Las Vegas anytime. They even named the hotel after your mama over there. It's called a Westwood Home. Now.
The performer was just waiting for the right moment to bust out. Before he was Mr. Las Vegas, he was Mr. selling you stuff you don't need.
Not only did I sell that rag, which the chamois wouldn't have a name for it, but I took it to Earl Scheib, which is a car specialist dealership, and I made $3,500 on one day.
After college, George landed a job as a salesman for an advertising agency. He was good at it, with a steady paycheck and by all accounts, a success in that line of work. But every single day, he knew he could do more with his life. The turning point came when one of his clients opened a comedy club. The club owner was amused by George's natural humor and friendly demeanor and offered him the chance to perform stand-up comedy.
I'm going to straighten out Chicago, and I'm going to be fair. I want to be a fair mayor. People that want to drink and drive, I think we should have a lane for those people.
And in 1977, George walked on stage for the first time, wearing a preacher's robe and calling himself the Right Reverend Dr. George Wallace. He quit his stable job and moved to New York City for several years, perfecting his craft and living with friend and fellow comedian Jerry Seinfeld, where they shared a rundown tiny apartment. They were two guys at the absolute bottom, writing jokes, hitting open mics, and getting heckled by drunks, all while betting on themselves.
Does anybody work at Home Depot? Does anybody here work at Home Depot? Damn, I feel like I'm actually in the store.
George honed his craft in the legendary comedy clubs of the era, developing his signature style, a laid-back, observational humor where he just riffed on things he was thinking about. It was smart, it was clean, and it was undeniably hilarious.
I mean, I'll be thinking, hell, after about 4 hours, I looked at my watch, it was 12:15 and 12:30. I told my partner to do it.
This social commentary went ahead to become popular with radio audiences as well. So you've got the talent, you've paid your dues, now what? For George Wallace, the next step was total stardom. In 1978, Wallace moved to the West Coast, where he quickly became recognized as a talented young comedian. After one of his performances, producers from The Red Fox Show asked him to write for the popular series. However, Wallace returned to the stage and became a regular at the Comedy Store in West Hollywood, California, which also featured artists including Jay Leno and Robin Williams.
With Shakespeare can be different. Friends, Romans, countrymen. Let me rest.
Wallace also took his comedy show on the road and landed spots on The Tonight Show and opening for huge acts like Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson.
When I started off, I worked with Diana Ross for a year and a half, opening for her. I worked with Tom Jones for 5 years. You name it.
His friendship with Seinfeld also paid off in a big way. When Jerry's sitcom became the biggest show on the planet, George was right there with him. And in 1999, he appeared in the introduction scene to the home video release of Jerry Seinfeld, I'm Telling You for the Last Time, live on Broadway, as a fictionalized version of himself.
I don't understand it. He walks away from his show, he walks away from his act. Are you sure this kid is Jewish?
No, he's Jewish. Don't ask me how I know.
He was also the best man at Seinfeld's wedding.
Last time I was there with you 30 years ago. I'm the real George. I'm his roommate. I'm the best man in his wedding, and I'm the father of his kids. You guys don't know.
A true representation of a Hollywood comedic bromance.
Out of all the people I could have gotten on this show, Tim Allen, Roseanne, everybody wanted to do this show. I said, Jerry wants to do it.
During the 1995 American Comedy Awards, Wallace was named the best male stand-up comedian. Wallace was a regular on the Tom Joyner Morning Show.
First of all, you leave my mama out of this, and I'll leave this out your mama. You want to play the game?
Before joining Isaac Hayes on a popular radio program on the former WRKS radio station in New York City. He also starred in his own HBO special and has appeared on many television shows, including The Oprah Winfrey Show and Late Night with David Letterman.
I said, Delta. She said, what time are you arriving? I said, noon. She said, is that 12 noon? I said, no, that's 2 noon, you stupid.
Later on, George moved again, and this time to Las Vegas, where he saw an opportunity in the city in the desert where entertainment lives. And you know what they popularly say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. In 2004, he landed a headlining residency at the Flamingo, but well, you see, Vegas residencies are usually for pop stars and magicians, not stand-up comics. But George wasn't just any comic.
It's true. My first impression of Hong Kong when I got off the airplane was, why is the airport right in the middle of Chinatown?
In 2006, he considered running for mayor of the city of Las Vegas, Nevada. Wallace stated that as mayor, he would update the Las Vegas Strip with an easy-to-use monorail, close the strip to vehicles, and expand the road system behind the hotels. Now, even though that didn't work out, he brilliantly went ahead to brand himself as the new Mr. Las Vegas, a hilarious and wild nod to the original Mr. Las Vegas, Wayne Newton.
One time he came to Las Vegas, came to one of my shows. That's what's good about when I was working in Las Vegas. I own Las Vegas, you know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
They call me the new Mr. Vegas. Did you know that? No.
His show was a massive hit, and for 10 years, he was the king of the Strip. His 10 p.m. show became a must-see, famous for its freewheeling style and audience interaction. He'd also hand out prizes, from Twinkies to Cadillacs. And his signature bit, I Be Thinkin', became the legendary.
I be thinking phrase basically just came from, let me tell you where it came from. It was just on stage one day. I be thinking about this. I be thinking about that. And go, hey, that's catchy.
He had made it. He was a bona fide star with his name in lights. Aside from being a comedy legend, George Wallace has also had supporting roles in a number of films.
My clients, they're not proud of what they did. This is not a rape, not by a long stretch. No, you hold on, I'm talking.
Including Mr. Deeds, Three Strikes,
What you mean you didn't know?
I didn't know.
You know everything else.
What that's supposed to mean?
and the Coen brothers film The Lady Killer as Sheriff Weiner. Wallace also appeared in Batman Forever as the mayor of Gotham City. Other film credits include A Rage in Harlem, The Wash, Punchline, and Things Are Tough All Over. And now, you're probably thinking what his personal life might be like. I mean, after a major injury and winning $1 million lawsuit, a guy might just chill, right? Maybe buy a small island? I hate to break it to you, but George is simply not that guy. His personal life has always been much quieter than his public persona. He was married to composer and musician Kath Knack, but they divorced in the mid-90s. He's always kept his family life, including his children, incredibly private. Unlike other comedians whose acts are built on relationship drama or personal scandals, George's life has been remarkably free of that kind of noise. His biggest drama was the lawsuit, a fight for professional justice, not a messy tabloid affair. It speaks volumes about his character, a man who handles his business, values his privacy, and lets his comedy do the talking. The resilience he showed in coming back to the stage after his injury is the true measure of the man. He had to adapt his style, performing seated for a time, but he never lost his wit or his connection with the audience.
This court is adjourned.
Son, when you get out this time, have your ass out front. I'm gonna pick you up myself.
So where does a comedy legend who conquered Vegas and beat a casino in court go from here? Wherever he wants. George Wallace is considered an elder statesman of comedy, a living legend.
Not long, about 48 years, longer than you've been alive.
Health-wise, while the Achilles injury was a permanent one, he has managed it with grace and continues to perform. He may not have the same physical mobility on stage, but his mind is as sharp as ever. His lifestyle now is one of a respected icon.
You drink some milk and you're walking down the street, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a flame of fire will shoot out of your ass.
He's not grinding it out in clubs every single night, but he still tours, playing theaters and major venues to sold-out crowds who grew up loving him. His estimated net worth is around $10 million, a fortune built on decades of hard work, smart branding, and one very significant lawsuit. But perhaps his most famous current project is his Twitter account. He is without a doubt one of the funniest people on the platform.
I love this country. I love your national anthem. Oh boy, it's easy. Oh, Canada. That's all I know right now, but I'm gonna learn the rest.
His short, absurd, I be thinkin' style observations are perfect for the social media age, and he's gained a whole new generation of fans who might not have even seen his stand-up.
What can I do to chip in on this research? I'm telling you right now, somebody came and told me there's only 15 chickens left. I got to go.
Nonetheless, he's still relevant, still hilarious, and still one of the most respected names in the game.
I bought me a brand new Capitol. I'm peeing right now.